Welcome to another boring lesson. Today, we explore one of Shakespeare's most powerful and haunting tragedies, Hamlet. Sit back, relax. Let's drift into the slow unraveling of a royal family, gripped by betrayal, grief, and revenge. Act 1, A Ghost in the Fog. The play opens not with Hamlet, but with tension and shadows. It's nighttime at Elsinore Castle in Denmark. Guards are on patrol. They see something strange. A ghost. It looks just like the dead king. He wears armor. He says nothing. Then he disappears. This ghost comes back again. The guards don't know what to do. They call Horatio, Hamlet's best friend. He comes to see the ghost for himself. And yes, it returns. The ghost says nothing again, but its presence is chilling. So the guards and Horatio decide to tell Hamlet. They believe this ghost might be the spirit of King Hamlet, the prince's father, who recently died. The kingdom was told the king died of a snake bite, but something doesn't feel right. And this ghost might be the key. Let's pause here. This is classic Shakespeare setup, something supernatural, a mystery. The world is not in order. The living are confused. The dead won't rest. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark. Meet Hamlet, the mourning prince. Now we meet our main character, Hamlet, a university student, young, intelligent, deeply emotional, and right now, completely heartbroken. His father is dead. Worse, his mother, Gertrude, married Claudius, Hamlet's uncle, just weeks after the king's funeral. That's fast. Too fast. It feels wrong to Hamlet. His grief is fresh. Everyone else has moved on, especially Claudius, who now wears the crown. Claudius tries to act like a good stepfather. He tells Hamlet to stop grieving. He says it's natural to lose a parent. He calls Hamlet's mourning unmanly, but Hamlet is drowning in emotion. He feels betrayed by his mother, suspicious of his uncle, and lost in his own thoughts. In one of his first major soliloquies, Hamlet says, "Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt." Act 1, Scene 2. He wishes he could disappear. He's not quite suicidal, but he's full of sadness, anger, and confusion. The ghost speaks. Horatio tells Hamlet about the ghost. Hamlet is intrigued and afraid. That night, he goes with the guards to see for himself. And the ghost appears again. This time, the ghost speaks. It calls to Hamlet. It asks him to follow. Alone. The guards worry, but Hamlet obeys. The ghost reveals the truth. "I am thy father's spirit. He wasn't killed by a snake. He was murdered by his own brother, Claudius. While sleeping in the garden, Claudius poured poison in his ear." Hamlet is shocked. This confirms what he suspected, but hearing it from his father's ghost? That's overwhelming. The ghost then commands Hamlet to avenge him. Revenge his foul and most unnatural murder. But there's a catch. The ghost tells Hamlet, "Leave your mother's punishment to heaven." Hamlet now has a mission. He must kill Claudius, but he must leave Gertrude alone. As the ghost disappears, Hamlet makes a promise. He will remember. He will take revenge. Hamlet's mind begins to spiral. From this moment on, Hamlet is never the same. He becomes obsessed with the idea of revenge, but also with the fear that he might be wrong, that the ghost might be a demon, that his senses might be deceived. This is one of the key themes of Hamlet, thought versus action. Hamlet is a thinker, a philosopher. He doesn't rush. He doubts. He delays. He reflects too much. He says, "The time is out of joint. O cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right." He hates the task he's been given, but he knows he must do it. Still, he's not ready to act. Not yet. Ophelia, love and control. Let's meet Ophelia. She's young, beautiful, and in love with Hamlet. But her father, Polonius, doesn't trust Hamlet. He tells Ophelia to stay away. He says Hamlet's love is fake, that he'll break her heart. Ophelia obeys. She returns Hamlet's letters. She avoids him, and Hamlet notices. Polonius is also close to Claudius and Gertrude. He's the king's advisor, chatty, nosy, and full of advice. He believes Hamlet's strange behavior is due to heartbreak, that Hamlet is mad for Ophelia's love. But we know better. Hamlet is planning something bigger. Hamlet's plan, the antic disposition. Hamlet decides to pretend to be mad, to act insane, so he can observe Claudius without suspicion. He tells Horatio and the guards, "As I perchance hereafter shall think meet," to put an antic disposition on. This madness is a mask, a disguise, a way to buy time and get close to the truth. But soon, even Hamlet isn't sure what's real anymore. Hamlet's plan, the antic disposition. Hamlet decides to pretend to be mad, to act insane, so he can observe Claudius without suspicion. He tells Horatio and the guards, "As I perchance hereafter shall think meet," to put an antic disposition on. This madness is a mask, a disguise, a way to buy time and get close to the truth. But soon, even Hamlet isn't sure what's real anymore. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Claudius gets nervous about Hamlet's behavior. He brings in two of Hamlet's childhood friends, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, to spy on him. They act friendly, but Hamlet isn't fooled. He asks them directly, "Were you not sent for?" They admit they were. Hamlet now knows even his old friends can't be trusted. He feels more alone than ever. The play within the play. Hamlet comes up with a new idea to confirm Claudius's guilt. He will stage a play. He calls it the Mousetrap. He will get a group of traveling actors to perform a scene where a king is murdered by his brother in the same way the ghost described. He says, "The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. If Claudius reacts with guilt, then Hamlet will know the ghost was telling the truth." Claudius reacts. The play is performed. At the moment of the poisoning scene, Claudius stands up. He's pale. He's shaken. He storms out. Hamlet is thrilled. He believes the truth is confirmed. Claudius is guilty. Now it's time to act. Claudius prays, and Hamlet hesitates. Right after the play, Hamlet finds Claudius alone and praying. This is the perfect chance. The king is unguarded. Hamlet has a sword. He can kill him now, but Hamlet hesitates. He reasons, if Claudius is praying, then his soul might go to heaven. Hamlet wants revenge, not mercy. So he waits. Again. Now might I do it, Pat? Now he is praying. And now I'll do't, and so he goes to heaven. And with that, Hamlet walks away. Gertrude's room. A fatal mistake. Later, Hamlet is summoned to speak with his mother, Gertrude. He goes to her room. Their conversation becomes intense. Suddenly, Hamlet hears a noise behind the curtain. He thinks it's Claudius, hiding and eavesdropping. Without thinking, he stabs through the curtain with his sword. But it's not Claudius, it's Polonius. Polonius cries out and dies. Hamlet has accidentally killed an innocent man. Gertrude is horrified. Hamlet tries to explain. He tells her Claudius is a murderer, but Gertrude is confused, overwhelmed, and possibly starting to believe him. The ghost reappears, but only Hamlet can see it. Gertrude sees nothing and fears her son has truly gone mad. Hamlet leaves, dragging Polonius's body with him. Ophelia breaks. With Polonius dead, Ophelia, his daughter, Hamlet's once love, falls into deep grief. She becomes mentally unstable. We see her walk through the castle, singing strange songs, handing out imaginary flowers. The court watches her spiral. She sings of lost love, of betrayal, of death. They bore him barefaced on the bier. Act 4, Scene 5. Her words don't make sense to others, but to us, they are heartbreak in disguise. She has lost her father, and she has lost Hamlet too. Ophelia's madness is different from Hamlet's. His is calculated, at least at first. Hers is pure sorrow, unraveling in public, and then quietly off stage. Ophelia dies. We're told she drowned, that she climbed into the branches above a brook and the branch snapped. Was it an accident? Was it suicide? We don't know for sure, but the sadness is deep. Laertes returns. Polonius had a son, Laertes. He had left for France early in the play, but now he returns, furious. He finds Denmark in chaos. His father is dead. His sister has gone mad. The king seems unsure, and Hamlet is missing. Laertes storms the castle with a crowd, demanding justice. He is bold, angry, action-driven, the opposite of Hamlet. Claudius, always manipulative, quickly calms Laertes and turns his rage against Hamlet. He convinces Laertes that Hamlet is to blame for everything. Now, Claudius has a plan. He will use Laertes to kill Hamlet. Hamlet's strange journey abroad. After killing Polonius, Hamlet is sent away to England, supposedly as punishment, but really as a trap. Claudius gives Rosencrantz and Guildenstern a letter. It contains an order to have Hamlet executed upon arrival. But Hamlet, always clever, discovers the letter. He secretly rewrites it, changing the names. Now it says, "Execute the bearers of this letter." He sends Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to their deaths and returns to Denmark unharmed. This moment is dark. Hamlet has taken a major step. He has stopped hesitating. He is no longer passive. Now, he is acting with purpose. Graveyard scene. Memento mori. Back in Denmark, Hamlet takes a walk near a graveyard. He sees two gravediggers chatting while they work. One of them digs up an old skull and tosses it casually aside. Hamlet picks it up. The skull once belonged to Yorick, the court jester Hamlet knew as a child. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. Act V, Scene 1. This moment is famous and powerful. Hamlet stares at the skull. He reflects on death, how no one escapes it. Kings, fools, lovers all end the same way. Dust, bone, silence. This is Shakespeare's message. Death is the great equalizer. As Hamlet contemplates life and mortality, he is interrupted by a funeral procession, and it is for Ophelia. Ophelia's funeral, the gravedigger's truth. Hamlet doesn't know it's Ophelia at first, but when he sees her body, he is overwhelmed with grief. He leaps into her grave, wrestling with Laertes. I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not with all their quantity of love make up my sum, but the moment is full of contradictions. Hamlet claims to love her, but he hurt her. He pushed her away. He killed her father. Now it's too late. Laertes, enraged and grieving, vows revenge. The tension is rising. We're approaching the final act. Claudius and Laertes plot the duel. Claudius knows Hamlet is back and alive, so he moves quickly. He convinces Laertes to challenge Hamlet to a friendly fencing match. But there's a trick. Laertes' sword will have a sharp, poisoned tip, unlike Hamlet's blunted sword. And in case that doesn't work, Claudius will prepare a poison drink as backup. 3 layers of death. Claudius isn't taking chances. The duel, everyone falls. The final scene begins with tension hidden under ceremony. Hamlet and Laertes meet before the court. They appear civil. They apologize. They bow. But we and they know this is war in disguise. The match begins. Hamlet wins the first 2 rounds. Gertrude, the queen, drinks from the cup Claudius prepared, the poisoned cup. Claudius tries to stop her, but it's too late. Gertrude drinks the poison. She dies shortly after, but not before warning Hamlet. The drink, the drink. I am poisoned. Now chaos unfolds. Laertes wounds Hamlet with the poisoned blade. In the scuffle, their swords are switched. Hamlet then wounds Laertes with his own poison sword. Laertes realizes the truth and confesses. The king's to blame. With his final strength, Hamlet stabs Claudius. He forces him to drink the poison he had prepared for Hamlet. Claudius dies. Laertes dies. Gertrude is already gone. And finally, Hamlet collapses. He turns to Horatio, his loyal friend, and says, "But I do prophesy the election lights. On Fortinbras, he has my dying voice. The rest is silence." And with that, Hamlet dies. Fortinbras arrives. As Hamlet dies, Fortinbras, the Prince of Norway, arrives at the castle. Earlier in the play, we were told Fortinbras was leading troops, hoping to reclaim lost land. His story was always a contrast to Hamlet, decisive, brave, action first. Now, Fortinbras finds the Danish royal family dead. Horatio explains what happened, and Fortinbras honors Hamlet as a noble prince. The tragedy ends not with glory, but with emptiness. Themes to reflect on. Let's pause and reflect on some key themes. 1. Action versus inaction. Hamlet waits. He questions. He thinks too much. And by the time he acts, it's too late for almost everyone. Shakespeare asks, when should we act? When should we wait? 2. Madness, real and pretend. Is Hamlet mad? Or just pretending? Does pretending make it real over time? Ophelia goes mad from grief. Hamlet dives into madness to protect himself. But both suffer. 3. Revenge and consequence. Everyone who seeks revenge ends up dead. Laertes, Claudius, Hamlet, even Gertrude, caught in the crossfire. Shakespeare seems to say, revenge consumes everyone, even the innocent. 4. Death and the afterlife. From Yorick's skull to Claudius praying, from Ophelia's drowning to Hamlet's final breath, death is everywhere. And yet, no one really knows what comes next. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Slow recap before the final section. Let's breathe and slowly recap. Ophelia goes mad and dies. Laertes returns, seeking revenge. Claudius and Laertes plot Hamlet's death with poison. Hamlet is sent to England, but escapes and returns. The graveyard scene reminds us, death comes for all. The final duel ends with everyone, Hamlet, Claudius, Gertrude, Laertes dead. Fortinbras arrives, a symbol of order returning. And final reflections? What just happened? Let's begin with a gentle summary. At the end of Hamlet, nearly every main character is dead. King Claudius poisoned and stabbed. Queen Gertrude accidentally poisoned. Laertes poisoned by his own blade. Hamlet, fatally wounded, dies after avenging his father. Ophelia drowned, possibly by suicide. Polonius killed accidentally by Hamlet. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern executed in England. Only Horatio, Hamlet's loyal friend, survives to tell the story. And Fortinbras, the Prince of Norway, arrives to take control of the Danish kingdom. So, what does it all mean? Hamlet's core conflicts. Shakespeare didn't write Hamlet as a simple tale of revenge. It's much deeper than that. Hamlet's inner journey is just as important as the bloody ending. Let's look at some of the central conflicts that drive this tragedy. 1. Action versus inaction. Perhaps the most famous struggle in Hamlet is this: should I act or wait? Should I take revenge or think it through? Hamlet is not like other Shakespearean heroes. He's not a man of immediate action like Macbeth or Othello. Hamlet thinks, and then he thinks some more. He questions the ghost's identity. He tests Claudius with a play. He refuses to kill Claudius while he's praying. He delays and delays. And because of this delay, everything gets worse. Ophelia dies. Polonius dies. Gertrude dies. Even Hamlet himself dies. But does that make him weak? Maybe not. Hamlet's delay shows us the cost of conscience. It's easy to act without thinking. It's harder to act knowing the consequences. Shakespeare is exploring the tragedy of overthinking, something many of us relate to. 2. Madness, real or pretend? Hamlet says early on that he'll put on an antic disposition. In other words, he'll pretend to be mad. But the longer the play goes on, the harder it is to tell whether he's still acting or if he's truly losing touch. Some moments are clearly performance. Others feel deeply disturbed. Ophelia, on the other hand, does go mad, visibly and tragically. Her songs, her flowers, her wild behavior, it's grief without filter. Her madness is emotional, tender, broken. In a way, both Hamlet and Ophelia are victims of a world out of balance. Madness becomes a way to cope or escape from unbearable pain. Brain 3. Death and what comes after. Hamlet is obsessed with death. From the ghost's chilling request, to Polonius's murder, to Ophelia's drowning, to Yorick's skull in the graveyard, to the final duel where everyone dies, death is everywhere in this play. But Hamlet doesn't just witness death. He ponders it. He asks, to be or not to be, that is the question. This famous line isn't about philosophy. It's about survival. Hamlet is asking, is it better to live through all this pain or to end it and risk the unknown? In other words, life equal to suffering, death equal to possible peace, but possibly worse. So he waits. He delays again, because he can't be sure what comes after. Shakespeare shows us a man trapped between the fear of death and the pain of life and its haunting. Let's revisit to be or not to be. Let's slow down and look at the full passage, perhaps the most quoted in all of English literature. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them. Hamlet wonders, is it more noble to suffer through life's struggles, or to end them, to take action, to die? But death, he says, is like sleep, peaceful, until he remembers. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come. That's the fear, the unknown. What if death brings something worse? What if we never wake up? So in the end, fear keeps us alive. Shakespeare captures the human condition here, our doubts, our fears, our inner war with pain and hope. Hamlet and his mother. Another deep thread in the play is the relationship between Hamlet and Gertrude. He is horrified that she married Claudius so quickly. Some readers sense a layer of Oedipal tension, Hamlet's discomfort with his mother's sexuality. But at the heart, it's simpler. He feels betrayed. His mother moved on too fast. She seems to forget his father's memory, and that hurts him deeply. Even when Hamlet kills Polonius in her room, he's not angry at Gertrude. He's desperate to wake her up, to make her see what he sees. But she doesn't fully understand. Still, by the end, she seems to realize Claudius's guilt. When she drinks the poison, we sense she finally knows and regrets. Hamlet and Horatio, a rare true friendship. In a world of lies, spies, and betrayals, Hamlet has one true friend, Horatio. Horatio is calm, loyal, honest, and always by Hamlet's side. At the end, Hamlet tells Horatio, "If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, and in this harsh world draw thy breath in pain, to tell my story." He wants Horatio to live, to tell the truth, to carry Hamlet's memory forward. This friendship gives the tragedy a hint of warmth, a reminder that even in chaos, loyalty and love still exist. Repetition, motifs, and symbolism. Let's briefly explore a few key symbols and repeated ideas Shakespeare uses in Hamlet. 1. The ghost. The ghost is more than a plot device. It represents the past that refuses to stay buried, guilt that won't rest, the start of a chain reaction that ends in ruin. 2. Poison. Poison appears over and over. In the king's murder, in Hamlet's fake madness, in the final duel. It's a symbol of corruption, how evil spreads quietly, invisibly, and fatally. 3. Skulls and graves. Yorick's skull isn't just for shock. It shows death is universal. Even those who made us laugh become bones. It's a symbol of mortality and the futility of status or fame. Final reflections. What can we learn from Hamlet? Shakespeare didn't give us clear answers, but he left us with deep questions. What does it mean to be moral in a corrupt world? Is it better to act quickly or think things through? Can grief drive us to madness? Do we ever truly know what's right? Hamlet suffers because he can't find peace in any direction. He doubts everything, even himself. In that way, he's one of Shakespeare's most human characters. He's brilliant, emotional, flawed, noble, scared, and real. Boring lesson wrap-up, the 5-minute final recap. Let's do a soft, simple wrap-up. The ghost tells Hamlet that Claudius murdered his father. Hamlet vows revenge but hesitates. He pretends to be mad and stages a play to reveal the truth. He confirms Claudius's guilt, but delays again. He kills Polonius by mistake. Ophelia goes mad and dies. Laertes returns, furious. Claudius and Laertes plan Hamlet's death with poison. Hamlet is sent to England, rewrites the execution letter, and returns. The final duel kills nearly everyone. We explore Hamlet's internal conflicts, thought versus action, real versus pretend madness, fear of death. We reflect on key relationships, Gertrude, Horatio, Ophelia. We analyze themes, mortality, loyalty, delay, decay. And we end with questions, not answers. The final word, the rest is silence. Hamlet's last words are, the rest is silence. This could mean, death is the final escape. Nothingness awaits us. Words can no longer help, but for us, those words invite reflection. Hamlet may be silent now, but his story still speaks. This is the end of the video. If you like this video, please subscribe, share, and like. It will help us continue this channel. See you in next story.